What's up, you guys? This is a Real Talk Corner with your host, Ariana, the Quantum Healers in the building. I have some awesome reaction videos for you. I will have a co-host on most of them. Sabrina's in the building. So just make sure you guys in the comments. Don't forget in the comments, let me know what you think about these reaction videos. And I want to know your opinion to what's going on. So this is a new segment. I'm going to be dropping just videos on different content, different other YouTube platforms, TikToks, things like that. Controversial, I need to be controversial because we will talk about it. So this is Real Talk Corner. I'm not afraid to talk about anything. I think a lot of people are afraid of cancel culture, but I think that there are things worth pushing the limit, should I say. So I have a beautiful, interesting conversation today. We're going to be watching. I'm going to be reacting to Julebee's. Julebee is if you don't know it, it's a channel that it does a lot of these skits, and it has basically puts people versus. So it'll have alpha males, beta males, or something like that. So and they'll have them have a conversation, and they're opposite. So I love these shows because it really can bring up some beautiful points, and it can actually open up some dialogue. So I actually love their channel. I love what they do. Big props to Julebee. So I will be reacting to a lot of their content because I just think it's phenomenal of what they're doing. And then I'll be giving you guys my opinion, of course, on what I feel, but we got to talk about it because, in this day and age, it's a lot of fuckery out there, right? So let's get into it. Today, we are going to be reacting to Julebee's, one of Julebee's segments are men superior to women, alphas versus betas. So let's listen to it.
Stable ones, men don't need to be crying in front of women. And ideally, they're not splitting chores. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but I think that if a woman cannot look up to you in some way, then she cannot respect you. And if she cannot respect you, she cannot love you.
I totally disagree.
I totally agree.
Totally disagree.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. Men are designed to want to sleep with multiple women.
Here we go.
Yeah, I would say I definitely agree that men, want to sleep with multiple women. I think it's natural because one of the things is because we have so much sperm and that we produce so much sperm, and that makes us want to repopulate the earth basically. And so a lot of times what happens is I think that society is telling men not to do that for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And some guys fall into that, but I definitely believe that, men actually want to be with multiple women because it's just a natural thing in us. This is why you hear all the time, men always cheating and guys feel like they, trying to hide the cheating and everything like that. And if it was natural for them to just want to be with that one woman, then cheating wouldn't even be an issue. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think for the way we were cultured, I agree with that, but also to just through human history, right? For survival, maybe this is old school thinking, but it's just like for survival, you need to have lots of kids. So if someone's pregnant, how do you keep multiplying? You just...
All right. So let's start with the obvious. One of the obvious pieces is this idea that just because you're attracted to other people when you're with someone, that you must be bred in your DNA to sleep with multiple people. And I think it's such a fucking cop-out. Such a fucking cop-out. Men act like women are not still desiring other men when they're in relationships. And there's a huge misconception about this because we're still very much attracted to other men. It's just that we understand we're with someone. And when you love that person, you're in this committed relationship. So you don't act on those desires. I think that just thinking because men has tons of sperm, that's the reason why you want to sleep with many women and impregnate many women. Now I get the social construct of things and how society has we have these belief systems that we're instilled with, and I understand that. So I agree on some points with that. But I would say to take it to that step, like, oh, if I wasn't meant to sleep around, I wouldn't have these feelings. You know, people have feelings of murdering other people. Does that make them a murderer? Good
Women,
question.
right? Not saying it's right or wrong, but it's just kind of the way. I think women even cheat too. It's like 50-50.
Yeah, I think women also want to do their thing, you know what I'm saying, in some situations, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's just men. I think it's a natural, like I feel like because that desire is there, it's a natural thing for, if we're talking specifically men, that desire to want to do it is natural in us. So then therefore you're going to want to do it. So I don't think it's a natural thing to just be with this one woman, but at the same time, when I'm with this one woman, I only want to stay with her. It's almost like I'm lying to myself if I just want to be with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense. But the question is that the end point? Is being with multiple women the end point? I'm of the firm belief that it is important to position yourself as a man to have the capacity to be with as many women as you possibly can and position yourself in a way where you understand female nature and you maximize your potential as a man. And that's where I don't necessarily agree that just because there's a deeper desire to continue to do it means it's going to be the most optimal thing for you and your own ability to thrive at the highest level and connect with God here on earth.
I was taught not to.
Big difference, of course. Just like you said, just because you have that ability to attract multiple people, does that necessarily mean that you're going to be okay afterwards? And I think the only thing that you're lying to yourself is when you pretend to be this honest person. Like if you don't want to be in a committed relationship, if that's not your thing, don't make excuses for it. Just say you don't want to be in a committed relationship. You're trying to justify you not wanting to be in a monogamous relationship to your DNA, to your sperm, to you being a man. And I think that's the lying, that's the manipulation. Just say you don't want to do it. There's a lot of women out here that are okay with being the third person. They're okay with being the other woman. They are okay with being in those positions. But I think where we fuck up at is the ones who don't want to be in these particular situations, that we have men like this lying because they can't be faithful, but yet they want to pretend to be faithful. And I don't believe just because you're a man, you're supposed to populate the whole fucking world with all your billions of children. When you think of reproduction, right? And how many of your children end up sleeping with each other because you've made 100 kids. Just because you have a million sperm doesn't mean you need to have a million kids. I don't think everyone should have kids. That's my opinion. I know that, there's other plans besides that. That's my opinion. But I mean, I feel like people are confusing dating what like the guy in the gray had just spoke about. He talked about more of dating. When you're dating, exercising those options, that's fine. You don't need to run off into the sunset with the first person. Have fun and date. There's nothing wrong with dating for years. What people mistake dating is that we're in a committed relationship. And you have to remember, this is where you have those conversations. And a lot of people don't want to have conversations to say, well, where are we in this dating? Are we moving to the next level? And I think it's important to be clear and concise about where you are in where you're going. Like, okay, I'm going to the next level. We're going to the next level. Or, okay, we're sitting in this level. But just to let's just fuck around for years. And if I'm the person who's dating for a reason, I'm dating to find that one person, where you are just dating to fucking casually have fun. I think there needs to be consensus and put that on the table to say, this is what we're doing or this is what we're not doing. Not just, well, I'm a man, deal with it.
Right. But it's like, especially, I mean, here's the thing, especially when you're in a relationship, right? It's like, it's better to grow together with somebody than multiple people, which I totally agree. But I think in the dating terms, it's like, there's nothing wrong with being multiple women, because I think that's just dating. It's experimenting, it's finding other people. But are we naturally made to just always be with one person? It's like, if that were true, then these first thoughts of being with another woman, even though I'm in a committed relationship, would never occur. But it comes up once in a while. But it doesn't mean I'm acting upon it. So
And you might be being generous about saying once in a while. Probably goes up quite a bit.
it depends what kind of relationship you're in, I guess, or how good of a day it is, right? Like, but I would say for me, if it was totally natural, even though I was nurtured into only being with one woman, that these thoughts wouldn't occur then.
Right. And the thing with me, I'm non-monogamous. So I have a wife, I have a girlfriend, and I still, from time to time hook up with other girls. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it feels regular to me. It doesn't feel like I'm trying to do it or doing it because I'm forcing myself. It just feels just natural, like it's something I want to do. You know what I mean? And so to not do it feels unnatural. You might just want this one woman for a relationship. I can understand that. But sexually, though, I think it's all BS.
Yeah, I agree. I think a man can absolutely be head over heels in love with a woman and still sleep with other women and it not mean anything to him.
Right.
And I think all men have the proclivity to want to sleep with other women. Now, whether they're able to speak to that and actually act on that or not, or if they've been able to, like you said, like religiously find a way to work around it. And I think religion has been great for that, because if it weren't for religion, we probably would not have society. But I think what's most important to identify is that a man should create choice in his life. And if you have choice, you should be able to do as you wish, particularly like in your case, like in my case, if there's no deceit.
Exactly.
It's the lying that, in my opinion, is actually the overall problem when guys, tend to go outside of a relationship. They lie to the woman.
Right.
That's the problem.
So when I was growing up, I was under the belief of just being with one woman, right? Like I was a virgin for a very long time. Then one girl broke my heart. So that caused like a lot of insecurity, resentment towards the other side, right? And then I just became like a man whore for a little bit.
The problem is you have guys who are monogamous, but they're monogamous because they're forced to be monogamous, in a way meaning that they have no choice because they don't have the skill to attract multiple women.
And a lot of times they'll use that as virtue signaling. I would never do such a thing. Well, actually, bro.
All right. Let's unpack something here. All right. So let's start with the first thing. Again, here goes this concept, which is La La Land, that because you think it, it must be true. Your mind does what the mind does. That doesn't mean that you need to act on everything that comes to your mind. It doesn't mean just because you think something that you're going against your natural DNA. Again, it falls into the reason why you're still attracted to other people is because you might not be meant to be with the same person for all of your life. Then there's all of these different levels. It's crazy that, we're talking about this, but I'm thinking on a spiritual level of it where, we have so many soulmates and not everybody is meant to stay in your life forever. Sometimes people are just coming in for a very short time to show you something, especially people who have lessons in love. And so if depending on your belief system, of course, is going to structure how you roll, how you live. But I don't feel like just acting always on your desires is the most healthiest thing for you, because you also sleeping with multiple people, you are opening up soul ties. And for people who don't believe in it, you don't have to believe in it, but it's going to show in your life on some way, shape, or form. Like maybe the way that you your emotions, your mind, those desires that you speak about, when you have slept with multiple people, that will create a lot of darkness within you. It'll create a lot of confusion within you as well, because you still have these connections to people's emotions. When women are open, we talk about when women are open and those legs are open, they are emotionally connecting to you despite what you feel as a man. And so if you understand that being in every woman's legs is going to be something that you're like, maybe I don't need to, because she is connecting to you on a soul level, regardless to how you feel. And that connection stays. And so I think there's a deeper psychological part to this that we're missing here. To say that men are being forced to be in a monogamous relationship is bullshit. I call bullshit. Nobody's forcing you to do shit. If you don't want to be in it in this day and age in 2023, especially, you don't have to be in it. You can just simply say, interesting. That's not for us. You know what I mean? But I think where people are falling short is this, like someone is making them, forcing them. And then like the other gentleman was just saying that, guys who don't sleep around don't have access. Let me tell you something. Go watch 600-Pound Life. There is a man and a woman for everyone. Okay. To sit in and put someone down and demean them and say that they don't have the ability to attract multiple women, so that's why they're not fucking multiple women. I think that's bullshit. I call bullshit on it. I don't feel that every man has the desire to sleep with a million women. I think it's a fantasy, just like women have their fantasies that aren't their normal men that they're dating, and they have their own fantasies. That's why there's Chippendale and there's strip clubs. Okay, let's be honest. But I think it's very. This is the problem with what they call toxic masculinity, or they say misogyny, where it's this like we're designed, we're bred to be fucking whores, and it's like no, you're not. You don't have to lie. There's a lot of women that will be in open relationships, especially in 2023. There's a lot of women like that. But I can tell you, women like me don't want to share their man with multiple partners. Women like attention. And if you've ever been with a woman, you know that she likes attention. She doesn't want your attention on a million other fucking things. And so if you can't give her your full attention, there will be problems. You see, just like there was the show with the sister wives. They were always having issues. Why? Because he did not have enough time. And those women had 1 day a week with him, and they were supposed to be happy with that. And again, they signed up for it. But at the end of the day, you're not going to, because you want to share your life. You want to share your day. You want that person on this emotional companionship level. And I'm not insecure about myself. I know what I bring to the table, but I'm a jealous woman when it comes to relationships. I can admit that. Hell no, I don't want you fucking giving attention to somebody else. I think you have to know who you are, and I think you have to be realistic with who you are. Like me, I mate for life. Like that's how I mate. Not that it'll last for life, but that's how I mate. I mate for someone that I'm into. If I'm into you and I start liking you and I open up to you, then I care about you, which is heading towards love, not where I want to share you and have orgies and you go fuck with whoever you do and I go do the same. Like that's not what I want. And so I think that, again, when we're listening to this, I'll probably do another part to this because it's an hour long. I don't want to go too long on these videos, but just when you're looking at this, men, just stand up and say you don't want to have a relationship. Just sit in that. But to think that we need 100 million of your children in this life, and you think sleeping with a bunch of women, I think spiritually there's a lot going on there. Psychologically, I think there's a lot going on there. And just like the one guy said, he got hurt and he turned into a hoe. And that's what happens on both sides, men and women. More women ain't just sleeping with a million guys because they're just so healthy in their mindset. They're doing it because they have trauma, they've been hurt. I went through a very long time. Shit. I mean, I've done the last 2 decades single, and I was in a mindset of fuck men. I don't need a man. And you come into a very disastrous way of thinking, like they're only good for one thing, if that, and men do the same thing. So I think you have to check yourself on some level and ask yourself, what is my true legacy that I'm living here? Is it just to fuck a million people? I'm not saying that one relationship is going to do, because I had a baby daddy. We didn't make it. I can't see that we would have ever made it when I look back at things. So I think life happens, and it's okay to just be with someone and be like, you know what, I'm just not feeling you anymore. I think that's okay. I think the bad part is thinking that it's supposed to last forever. And so now I'm trapped in this relationship when really you're not, you know. And I believe in the two-parent household, as I was a single mom. And it was not easy to be a single mom. So I just think there's a lot to unpack here. I'm going to keep watching it, but um, we'll kind of go through and just do a couple parts. But if you're liking these reaction videos and you want more and you want to suggest some things, you can send me some stuff to view and drop me a comment and let me know how you're feeling about this. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys buying this bullshit that men DNA, they're bred to fuck around with a million women? I don't know. I don't know if I believe it. All right, you guys, like this video, subscribe to the channel, more content, more shows on here. Don't miss it. And of course, I'll have guest hosts that will react with me. So remember to always follow, always come back and view, because we're going to be bringing you some good shit, that right shit. Why not? Because this is Real Talk Corner.